The Cleveland Cavaliers just landed Lauri Markkanen in a huge 3-team trade just a few weeks after they signed Jarret Allen to a $200 million contract and drafted Evan Mobley 3rd overall in the most recent NBA draft. Considering the lack of production from Markkanen in recent years, do they really know what they're doing? The Chicago Bulls selected Lauri Markkanen 7th overall in the 2017 NBA draft, drawing comparisons to players such as Dirk Nowitzki and Kristaps Porzingis. And surely enough, Markkanen looked to be living up to the hype, making first team all-rookie team and then showing tremendous growth in productivity during his sophomore year, with increases in almost all counting stats, as well as handling a bigger role in the offense. However, his following years up to the most recent 2021 season saw downwards trends in production, averaging career lows in minutes, rebounds, and points. In fact, it's been bad enough that Bulls fan has become rather disillusioned with the Finnish forward, seeming to be fine with letting Markkanen walk in free agency, as reports stated that he was looking for around $20 million per year after turning down a 3-year $45 million extension last year. So we have to ask, how did Lauri Markkanen end up in this position? Wasn't he supposed to be a franchise-altering unicorn? A term that was thrown around in recent years to describe these one-of-a-kind big men who can both handle the rock as well as shoot the deep ball. Let's look at 2 main reasons that I think can explain his decreased production and why I think he can still be a valuable player. First, changing coaching staff. Markkanen was originally drafted under the Fred Hoiberg regime, who was the coach of the Chicago Bulls from 2015 to 2018, up until about a third through Lauri's breakout sophomore year. It's no question that Hoiberg was not very successful as an NBA coach, but you can't really blame him. Those Bulls teams were severely lacking talent, rolling out players such as Justin Holiday, Chris Dunn, and Robin Lopez as starters.
No, God! No, God, please, no!
Under Hoiberg's scheme, Lauri was able to flourish, having a varied diet of shots from all over the court, free to create his own offense. However, under Jim Boylan and eventually Billy Donovan, Markkanen was under a shorter leash, not having such a green light to create shots for himself. Instead, he was courted more into just more of a 3-point shooter in recent years, taking more and more of just threes as a part of his offense, rather than being the shot creator he showed surges of during his first 2 years when he was pulling up from mid-ranges and taking people off the bounce. Second reason, a crowded Chicago front court and him not being a terrific fit within them. In addition to having 3 coaches in 4 years, which is never a great environment for developing young players, the Chicago Bulls completely revamped their roster this past season. They grabbed Nikola Vucevic from the Magic at the trade deadline, giving the Bulls a front court consisting not only of Lauri and Vucevic, but also Thad Young, a very solid veteran player, Patrick Williams, the Bulls' cherished lottery pick, as well as Daniel Theis from another trade at the deadline. Markkanen saw his production drop significantly at the trade deadline, in addition to the overall reduced role we looked at earlier. With both Vucevic and Markkanen not being great defenders, the Bulls often chose to pair their newly acquired big man from the Magic, along with either Daniel Theis or Thad Young in their starting lineups, both of whom bring more to the bag in terms of defensive production. This left Lauri a role from the bench, something he had only done just once in his career prior. Markkanen's inability to play and defend like a traditional big man is certainly a valid criticism, but given that he had averaged 7.6 and 9.0 total rebounds his first 2 years, I'd say he's not a complete loss on the boards. Lauri's lack of production recently is more so due to unlucky circumstances with the Bulls' front court personnel and coaching changes, leaving him as the odd man out. However, he's still improved his game even within his limited role, becoming a highly efficient deep range threat, shooting more threes per 36 at an increased percentage. But did any of this really change with Lauri being sent to Cleveland? don't they also have a loaded front court with Jarret Allen signed to a massive $200 million contract, as well as Evan Mobley from the most immediate NBA draft? There's also Kevin Love there as well. So is it really a better fit for Lauri in Cleveland? I still think so, and here's why. The major difference between the two situations are that Cleveland's bigs, who will likely see the most minutes, Allen and Mobley, are both high-impact defensive players, allowing Lauri to serve as their offensive counterpart as opposed to being rendered redundant in Chicago next to Nikola Vucevic. Kevin Love, I'm not putting too much weight on, as he'll likely see reduced minutes anyways, as well as being a prime candidate for either a trade to a contender or maybe even a buyout when he gets fed up with losing again. Though it's hard to see him giving away any part of his massive contract. The only other bigs left on Cleveland are Mufiondu Kabengele and Taco Fall, both of which who are not likely candidates to make the final roster. With Lauri's improvement as a shooter, as well as the shot creation shown in his earlier years, I believe Lauri can be a great fit alongside either one of Allen or Mobley, providing spacing and offensive production to a team that was 28th in offensive rating last year. His weaknesses as a defender can be covered up by his teammates, and Lauri could really see his production rebound. The fact that Cleveland agreed to a sign and trade for $67 million over 4 years tells me that they believe in Lauri legend as well, and I'm excited to see Cleveland's core bigs play out their season next year. Thanks lots for watching, and please like and subscribe for more content like this.